Howdy, folks. I wanted to talk about this comic, You're the Villain, the Joker. Glare on it. Let me get this out of the bag. Um, just start off by saying I'm not a John Carpenter fan. I'm not saying I dislike John Carpenter. I like him a lot. I guess the glare is still there. It's gonna be a problem. Okay. Well, we'll just deal with it. It's not important. I like him a lot. But I haven't seen everything he's done. I don't seek him out. I don't know everything he's done. Um, what I've seen, I like. I liked The Fog. I liked Halloween a whole hell of a lot. All the John Carpenter ones. But I've never seen stuff like Big Trouble in Little China. But I did see recently that he wrote a comic book. I was like, John Carpenter wrote a comic book? I don't know how much of his movies he wrote, and was he a director? Did he write some movies? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a fan of him enough to. A fan, I would know if he wrote it, he directed this, and he produced that, and he did. That's fan level. I'm not there, but I was interested. I was intrigued, and certainly if I see his name attached to a movie and I'm interested in the movie, I'll watch it. For some reason, Big Trouble in Little China has never grabbed me, and I know that's a nerd. You tore you punch a hole in my nerd card for that one because you're supposed to love Big Trouble in Little China. And I love Kurt Russell. I like John Carpenter's, and so I should see it. I'm just gonna see it. That's never mind. But this is he wrote You're the Villain, the Joker. And so I picked it up. It's about a month old, and I didn't even know about it until a week ago, and I ran out and grabbed it when I heard that he had written a comic. I saw it somewhere. And I got to tell you, my big thing is I wondered how good of a writer is he, and what does he know about comics, and can he write a comic book? And it finished, and I still don't know. This is not going to be a fulfilling review, folks. The storyline is Year of the Villain, and it's an ongoing story in DC right now that has been crossing over books back and one of the big crossover events, if you know comics. And usually with a crossover event, even if you're not following every book, you can at least pick up especially the one-shots and get a feel. And something like this, it's The Joker, written by John Carpenter. That should be a book anyone can pick up, even though it ties into the story. No, this is not a book anyone can pick. I couldn't pick it up. I read it. I was lost the entire time. It's so entrenched in the story. I don't know what happened before it, and you're supposed to. Doesn't tell you. Doesn't give you any hand. Doesn't hold your hand at all, which sucks. Because as Stan Lee said, he wrote a lot of stuff over and over again because every comic can be somebody's first comic. And this was certainly my first within this storyline. And it would have been nice to be maybe captured into the storyline and want to read the rest of the story. Get a feel for what John Carpenter was like, how he wrote it, And all they say is it's from the legendary John Carpenter. I looked into it after I read it because I'm like, there's no way he knows this storyline that heavily, and he didn't write it. I mean, he wrote it. It's written by John Carpenter and someone named Birch, as you can see. Co-written. Well, when it's co-written, how much was it? I don't know. There's no way of knowing. And he did write one other comic, I found out. It's a sequel to Big Trouble in Little China. And that was also written by Birch and him. So how much he writes, I don't know. I mean, those co-writtens are really tough to call. I don't even know how much Birch is written. I don't know who he is. So anyways, that's the story of this one. Yes, John Carpenter has been credited for writing comics. I don't know if he's written them or not. This one's not a good one. I mean, it might be. It might be a great part of the story, but it's so much a part of the story. it's meaningless. So, can't recommend you go pick this up for any reason other than you want a comic book credited to John Carpenter in your collection. That's the only reason I picked it up, and that's the only reason I have it now. Probably going to sell it. All right. Thanks, folks. Read something new, something, interesting. Read Daredevil by Chip Zdarsky. That's pretty easy to pick up. Go for that. All right. Have a good day, folks.